In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my tips and tricks for Murderers VS Sheriffs Duels. If you like these types of videos, please make sure to like and subscribe. Anyways, let's get on with the video. Alright, so tip number 1 is, instead of buying crates to get skins, buy abilities. Now, what are the best abilities? So when you first join, I recommend saving for the bonus slot, which gives you an additional ability. And then I would get the weapon buff, which increases the shoot speed of your gun by plus 45%, and your throw speed of your knife by plus 35%. And then you can choose between Soul Reap or Sprint. I like using Sprint because it gives you an advantage at the start of each round. But Soul Reap is very good for 4s. Stop using only one weapon. I've seen people only use knives, and I've seen people who only uses their gun. Now, instead of only using one weapon, use your gun first, and while it's reloading, pull out your knife and throw it. This will make it a lot easier and faster to hit enemies, instead of just using one at a time. Okay, next, so instead of trying to shoot over this table when you know that there's an enemy in this garden outside area, instead, jump on this couch, like this, and then you can shoot them without worrying about the table. Alright, so this one's pretty simple, but when you can't find an enemy on this house map, instead of checking this room by just walking in, instead, move your camera to then see if there's any players. This next tip is actually very useful, and I tend to do it a lot. I've seen a lot of people at the start of each round that they go on top of this couch here, so then they can see people over here. But what they don't know is that you're actually very visible from the enemy side, and it's not very good at all. So what I like to do is go behind the fireplace, so then I can either peek from over here, or I can jump on top of it. So then I could go like this, and then jump. And it's a lot easier because you have two options to peek it. You could peek from the side, or you could jump on top of it to then try and trick the enemies. On this map especially, I've seen so many people just spam jumping, thinking they're gonna dodge every single bullet, especially on these cargo crates here, even though it's easier than they think to hit them. Another thing I see a lot of people do all the time is just rushing in through this tunnel here, even though that there could easily be someone in the corner or just waiting outside, like over here. So I recommend, instead of just rushing in, I would do each corner at a time. And when you get close to the edge here, I would try and dodge if they're gonna peek. Now, instead of jumping on top of these crates like this, instead I like to go over here, jump on this ladder, jump backwards onto this crate, and then jump back on top of this here, because then it fools them and it thinks that you're just gonna climb up the ladder instead of jumping off. Another thing I like to do, if the enemy player plays really defensively, then I like to hide behind this box here, because then it becomes really easy when they think that you're gonna be over here somewhere, and then you can just shoot them.